Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today we are continuing to the mantra number 1 in Ishopanishad. Last class we have seen the invocation mantra. All of you please open the book. श्री राधा गोविंद की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Lesson 3, mantra 1, 2 and 3. 3 mantras will be seen today. The first mantra, all of you please open the book. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya siddhanam. The translation is like this: everything, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. This is the translation for first mantra. Now, overall, there are 18 mantras in this book of Ishopanishad. The first 3 mantra, along with the invocation, it is teaching us how we can live in harmony with the Ishvara, that is with the Lord. And from text number 4 to 8, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these texts are explaining us the Ishvara can be understood by the spiritual vision. So we should have the proper spiritual vision how to understand the Ishvara, because we have to live in harmony with the Ishvara. First of all, the Ishopanishad says that if you want to live peacefully, if you want to become happy, you must know how to live in harmony with Ishvara. And secondly, it will tell how to understand Ishvara, that is through our spiritual vision. Now, for understanding Ishvara, we need three things. One is our brain, other one is our heart, and our prayer. So this understanding through the knowledge, it's called as Vidya. And what it is not, to know that, it is called Avidya. So to know what is God or what takes us closer to God, that is Vidya. And anything else will be considered as Avidya. Here Avidya doesn't mean ignorance. We can see in Ishopanishad how knowledge also can be considered as Avidya, because it is that part of the knowledge which will take us away from Krishna is considered as Avidya. And the second thing what we need is the worship of the Lord. It is not only enough if we just know that God is great. We should know how to reciprocate to Him and what is my duty towards Him. That is called Upasana. And this Upasana is explained from 12 to 14. How to properly do the Upasana or the worship of the Lord, and how our Upasana can go wrong. So again here, not worshipping God is not only the wrong way of Upasana. We can say that there are different types of worship which may not take us to Krishna. That is also forbidden. And finally, the prayer. So whatever endeavor we can do from our side, we must do it. At the same time, we should be humble enough to pray to Krishna to reveal Himself. Because unless Krishna Himself reveals, we will not be able to understand what is He. So that is the last part of Ishopanishad, 15 to 18. 15, 16, 17 and 18. Last 4 shloka. So in this way, there are 18 shloka or 18 mantra. Upanishads have mantras. Every shloka is called as mantra. So 18 mantras in the Upanishad that we are going to study. And invocation and the first chapter, first mantra, it is talking about the principle, tattva, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Everything is owned by the Isha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the main principle that is explained in the beginning. And the invocation, it has explained us, we have seen in the last class that everything that is created by the God is perfect. We don't have any complaint. Generally, we see this. People complain. God is not there, or He is not powerful, or He is not merciful. Any one of these should be true. Otherwise, why people are suffering? Either God is not there. Even if God is there, He is not powerful enough to take care of us properly. Or even if He is there and He is powerful enough to take care of us, He is not very merciful. But none of these statements are correct. The God exists and He is all powerful and He is all merciful. But where the things are going wrong, we are not understanding the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is to reform the living entity. The aim of everything that is done by the God is take the person out of this material world and take him back to Godhead. But that we are not able to understand. We think that we have come here to enjoy, and our endeavor for enjoyment can create trouble for us. As we have taken the example of a jail and a hospital. We go to hospital for getting cured from the disease. And we should surrender to the doctor and we should follow the diet that he says and take the medicines, whether it is sweet or bitter, doesn't matter. But if we think that I only need sweet medicines and I will follow whatever I like, I'll eat what I like, then you are not going to get cured. And if when the doctor is restricting you, if you complain that this doctor is not good, he don't know how to treat, then the problem is not with the doctor, the problem with the patient. Because you don't know that you are a patient. That itself is the problem. Who am I? To understand my identity itself is lost. That is the biggest ignorance that we are having. We are not this body, we are the soul. And this body will never make us happy. This understanding, if we have, then everything will come in line. So we are trying to make this world happy, but Krishna has certified it as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. The creator of this universe himself has given a written statement in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is signed by Krishna. This is a hospital. This is a jail. Don't think that it is a hotel or some enjoyment place. So don't try for it. You will not be able to successful. But it doesn't mean that you cannot become happy at all. You can become happy. How you can become happy? By being in harmony with the principle of Ishavasa. Ishavasa principle, it will help us, or it will guide us how we can be happy in this material world, as well as we can go back to Godhead. The entire Sanatana Dharma, the rules and regulations, whatever we are following, the Vedic lifestyle, it is designed in such a way that the person will be able to elevate himself. Whatever practices we have in our life, in the Vedic culture, it is made in such a way that every day we remember that we have to advance in spiritual life. That is the main thing, whatever we have to follow. By following that, we can go back to Godhead. But gradually what happened, as the modern culture has attacked the Indian original culture, we are more exposed to the modernization, and we think that this itself is the life. This one lifetime is the only chance, so enjoy as much as possible. So this kind of philosophy was there earlier also. There was a person called Charvak. He told, you enjoy as much as possible, and if you don't have money, make loan and eat ghee. Make your life perfect and enjoy. Who knows what happens after death? Such principles were there, but people were intelligent enough to choose what is right. But now more and more people becoming more materialistic, and hardly people have any education regarding the Bhagavad Gita or Atma Tattva, that I am not the body, I am the soul. What is my real duty? Why am I suffering? What are the three types of suffering? Why birth, death, old age is there? Why people get suffering even though they have not done any mistake in this lifetime? Who is going to govern all these things? Why am I so much afraid of death? Even though if we say, okay, death is there, so what? But still we are afraid of death. What is that? What is that makes me to be so fearful? Not only human being, every living entity is fearful about death, even though we don't know what is death. Nobody wants to die. Everyone tries to live as much as possible. What is the cause? All these things. We are just closed our eyes and we are living like animals. Now, what is Ishavasa principle? If we see a person who is living in harmony with the nature, without harming any other creature, understanding what belongs to me and what belongs to others, that is called as Ishavasya principle. That is our beginning, first shloka. It explains here, Ishavasyam idam Sarvam. Everything belongs to the Isha. Isha means Lord, by the Lord. Avasyam means it is owned by the Lord or controlled by the Lord. The Lord is controlling everything. So everything means there are two things here. One is called Para Prakriti, that is spiritual energy, which is animate. Other one is Apara Prakriti or material energy, which is inanimate. Now take a simple example. You have a vehicle, and that vehicle, if you want to move, you have to have the driver. If there is no driver, then that vehicle will never move, even if it is standing for hundreds of years. It will never move. It will just stand wherever it is. So if you want to move it, we need a driver. So this is the combination of Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. The Apara Prakriti is the vehicle, and Para Prakriti is the driver. The word para means that which doesn't belong to this world. Apara means what is opposite to that, that is material world. So para means spiritual world or spiritual energy. Apara means material energy. This Para Prakriti is the cause of animation or movement. When the spiritual energy is present within the material body, the body will move. But when the spiritual energy is not present within the body, then the body cannot move. So who is the mover then? It is the spiritual energy. So spiritual energy, what are the spiritual energy? This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Bhumir apo analo vayo kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara miti yanme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. These all are Apara Prakriti, that is material energy. But beyond this, there is one more Prakriti, which is the spiritual, this spirit soul, which is the Para Prakriti, which belongs to the spiritual world. Now, when the soul is present within this body, the body can function as if it is everything is going on automatically, or we can see the effect of presence of the soul. But when the soul leaves this body, the body will become as good as the 5 elements. It will just decomposes. Either we burn it or we bury it, or it will be eaten by other animals. So it will be lost. Nobody can preserve it. It will lose its capacity. So this everything in this material world, which is visible, it is a combination of animate and inanimate energies of the Lord. In another way, it is told that the Tatastha Shakti means the living entity. Living entity, actually, it is a spiritual energy. It belongs to the spiritual world. But because it is in contact with the material energy, material world, it is called as Tatastha. That means either you can go to spiritual world or you can live in this material world. So both options are there for the living entity. So he is called as the Tatastha Shakti or marginal energy of the Lord. Then the superior energy is the spiritual world, and the inferior energy is this material world, that is the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. All these are called inferior energy. And all the energies of the Lord, they are eternal. None of them are going to be destroyed. This is law of conservation of energy. Even modern science agrees with it. You cannot destroy the energy, or you cannot even produce the energy. It is always constant. So spiritual energy, okay, we don't have much idea about it. How do we call material energy which cannot be destroyed? The material energy, we can only change the form. Just like energy can change from one form to another, but it cannot be destroyed. Similarly, the body, what we are getting, it gets transformed, but it will never get destroyed. Destroyed means only the form of the body will get destroyed, but not the ingredients of the body. It is always constant. Say, for example, if we have a plant, the plant gives fruits or vegetables. We eat the vegetable. So the form of the vegetable is lost, but that ingredients, that content is consumed by us. And we, using that energy, we grow the body. And as the body grows, then one day the body will die, or the soul leaves the body. Then the body again it will merge with the existing 5 elements, and it is used by some other living entity. It can become a manure for other plants, or it can become a food for other animals, or it can get into ashes, like that. So always material energy is also always present, and it is also not going to be destroyed. So in this way, both energies are eternally present. So those who would like to read can raise their hand. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong to either the para or apara prakriti. Therefore, everything is the property of the Supreme Being. Mantra 1, purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the basic understanding we must have before we follow Ishavasya principle. Now, what is the need for understanding Ishavasya principle, and what is the benefit of following Ishavasya principle is, we can live in this world for 100 years without getting punishment or without getting entangled in the material world. A person can live if he understands what is a Ishavasya principle. So that is a main aim, or why we have to understand the this Ishavasya principle. Now, presently, what is the condition of the society? In the present scenario, we have either communist or capitalist. Communists say that everything belongs to the nation. The wealth, whatever is there, it all belongs to the nation, and it has to be distributed to all the people. And capitalist says that every person has the right to earn whatever possible you can earn, and whatever you earn, it's belong to you. That is your hard work. You don't have to give to others, or if you give, it will be your choice. That is the capitalist. But what is the problem with communist and capitalist? That will be explained in by Prabhupada. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavata communism. As the communists, they say everything belongs to the state. We say everything belongs to God. We never say that anything belongs to anyone. No, this is Bhagavata communism. So everything belongs to God. Bhagavad Gita 1.15, London, July 15, 1973. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the difference between Bhagavata communism and material communism. In the entire world can be divided into 2 parts, communist and capitalist. And America is the leader for capitalist. Russia is the leader for communist countries and capitalist countries. So are they able to solve the real problem of life? If you see by practical example, no, they are not able to solve. People are not happy. What is the problem? The problem is the person who is at the center is not proper. Who is standing in the center? That becomes very, very important. whether you follow communism or capitalism. Now, communism, yes, the principle theory is very good to hear, that whoever makes anything, it all belongs to the country or nation. Whatever you earn, you have to give to the country, and the country will distribute the wealth equally to everyone. Now, here is the chance for people to become lazy. So either you earn or you don't earn, you will get your share because somebody is earning for you. So you make your hard work or not, it doesn't matter. You can just sit and eat. That is also possible. And other hand, the person who is working very hard, he is not getting the benefit of his hard work. Then what he will think, why should I work so much? Anyhow, the government is paying me little, whatever is there, I'll be satisfied with that itself. So that will become a hindrance for the competence of the person. He will not show his complete energy, or he will not work with so much of enthusiasm. So communist has this problem. Then what about the capitalist? Okay, you work as much as you possible, as much as you can, and whatever you earn, it belongs to you. So because of this, what happens? There is competition, cutthroat competition, so that people are unhappy. People are cheating each other. Those who have money, they will exploit the poor, and these things also we can see in the society. Now, what is the solution? It is the Varnashrama Dharma that is given by Krishna himself. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram apimam vidhya kartaram avyayam. Krishna has made this Chaturvarnya, which can take the entire humanity in the right path. How is it possible? If you see what is the real Varnashrama Dharma, it has 4 Varna and 4 Ashrama: Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. These are the 4 ashramas. And there are 4 Varnas, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Entire population has to be divided into these 4 plus 4 groups. In the beginning, there should be a good education for the children up to the age of 25. And in that education, what is to be taught is most important. Education can bind someone, or education can liberate someone. By education, a person can get attached to this world, or it can make him detached from the material world. If the education is teaching us how to exploit the material nature and how to enjoy the sense gratification, then he gets attached to this material world. And if we teach the students, teach the children, how this material world is entangling us and how finally we are going to be defeated, whatever endeavor we may do to do the sense gratification. And if we are able to convince that brahmacharya ashrama, the person, student, in the student life, then his entire life, it will be aimed at one point: how can I get out of this problem? That becomes the aim of his entire life. So brahmacharya is the foundation of life. This was given in the Gurukula system, and that is why we can see so much of morality that is present in the human culture, especially in India, in Vedic culture. Because the brahmacharya training was so good. And then in the grahastha ashram, the person, whatever he has learned in the brahmacharya ashram, he can apply those things. So in the grahastha ashram, he has the responsibility to take care of his family and the family at the large. The grahastha is going to give the contribution for brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, as well as for the sannyasis. So all the 4 category of people, they are depending on the grahasthas, and grahasthas are encouraged to do the yajna. or sacrifice. And what is the major thing in yajna? That is dakshina. If you see Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord, one of the incarnation of the Lord named as Yajna, and his wife's name is Dakshina. So Dakshina and Yajna, they are together. The Yajna is incomplete if there is no Dakshina. As Prabhupada says, when he used to take the class in the American land, you should at least give something. Full close madidana. After the class, if nothing is there, he will cut some apples and small pieces, and you give at least small pieces to the devotees who have come. Otherwise, your yajna of doing class will be incomplete. So that is dakshina. So when the yajna is performed, everyone become happy because yajna shishtashina santo muchyante sarva kilbishai bhunjate tyagham papa ye pachantyatma karanam. Now, after Grahastha ashram, the person is not getting attached to the same ashram. He will be going to the next ashram. It depends on how strong he is in spirituality. Then what happens? He will come to the Vanaprastha ashram. In Vanaprastha ashram, the person has more spiritual practices, spiritual activities than the material activity. In the Grahastha ashram, he has a lot of responsibility towards his children and towards the other many family responsibilities. But as he comes to the Vanaprastha ashram, all his children are grown up. Now they are able to take up the responsibility. So he can give the responsibility to his children and engage more in the activities of the spirituality, become more serious. But this seriousness where he gets, it is from the Brahmacharya ashram. Again, it aims to the first point. If he has taught, if he has learned how to practice spirituality in his Brahmacharya ashram properly, then that seed will be there within his heart. If it is not there, then what happens? If we see, there are many people who get retired at the age of 60, and what they do, they'll start searching. After retirement, can I take up some other job? I have made money for my son and so a grandson. I want to make some more money for my great grandson. So like that, they'll think, how can I make more money? Or they will have so many, whatever desires they have, they try to satisfy. Or some people may say, I have earned so much now, so much of money is there, now let me enjoy. So that becomes their motto of life. So that in that way, they may waste their human form of life. And there are very few people who take to the sannyasa, and sannyasa ashram will engage, or it will give the freedom of traveling to the everywhere. The person will become like a Parivrajaka or Paramahamsa, where he can actually initiate so many spiritual souls to make them leaders. They will produce more leaders. That is sannyasa ashram. Now one question arises. Krishna has made this, of course, it's correct, but is it only for India? Is it only for India? No, it is not only for India, or it is not only for those people who follow the Vedic literature, Vedic culture. It is for all. Knowingly or unknowingly, people are following it. But it is followed in a wrong manner. It has its own effect. If you see, every country has the education. The children are given education at the very early age. What education they give, that there is a problem. They don't give the education of soul. They'll only give like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu told Shanda and Amarka, you teach only Artha and Kama. Don't teach them Dharma or Moksha. So that Hiranyakashipu's education will start in the modern society. And only Shanda Amarka will be produced, or such kind of people, the exploiting people, those who make money. If you want to get some degree, so much of money you have to spend for education. And after getting the degree, you have to regain that money. So for that, you will make more business. So money becomes the motto of life. Okay, of course, it's like a dead elephant. The dead elephant, it doesn't have the real benefit, but still it has some benefit. When the elephant is living, it can do so many things, so much of work it can do. But if it is dead, then still you can sell its all parts of the body and you can still make some money. Similarly, the Vedic culture, even though people are not following it in the right manner, if you're following at least to some extent, there will be peace of mind in society and people live morally and they help each other. So such kind of material benefits are available. So only that means available. That is what is going on in the present society. For children, what we teach only the material morals. Don't tell lie, don't kill anyone. Like, you treat others how you want to be treated. So this kind of basic morality will be taught. Of course, that is also giving some benefit. So Krishna's, the brahmacharya ashram is there, but it is not in the right order. Again, coming to the grahastha ashram, it is there in the present society everywhere. Every society, every culture, it has the culture of marriage that is there. But the purpose of marriage has changed. And if you see the vanaprastha, there is a retired life. Everyone is given the retirement. But after retirement, what is to be done? That is unknown. And sannyasa ashram, every community has the sannyasis. They have different way of following or different instructions to be followed. But it is there. Either you take Hindu or Muslim or Christian or any community, there is there are people who are the leaders of spirituality. They will guide, they will give the instructions, they will take the responsibilities. And coming to that is Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So what is the function of a Brahmana? A Brahmana is a person of knowledge and his duty is to give direction. So earlier, the Brahmana, he used to live a simple life. He will never accept any luxurious life. Prabhupada says in one place, if a Brahmana gets some money, he will immediately spend it for Krishna, or he will spend it for the good of the society. And he will not keep anything. Even if a Brahmana gets 1 crore rupees also, the next day he will be penniless. He will not have any money because he will not keep, he will not hold anything. He is completely depending on the Lord. If you see the example of Dronacharya in Mahabharata, he was living such a life. He was not accumulating anything. That it requires a lot of faith on the Lord. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will definitely protect me. Then only one can do that. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So that is the Brahmana, and his only job is to give the there are 6 activities: Patana Patana, Yajana Yajana, Dana Pratigrahana. These are the 6 activities that a Brahmana do. Yajana Yajana, he will perform the yajna and he will make others to perform. Patana Patana, he will study the scriptures and he will teach others scriptures. And Yajana Dana Pratigrahana, he will give the charity and he will accept the charity. But here main thing is Brahmana acts as a head of the society. And Kshatriya, he is the person who is giving the protection. Kshatam trayate iti Kshatriyaha. Kshatam means harm by others. We get protected by them. And Vaishya, he is the one who makes the business and gets some economic development. And finally, Shudra, he is the one who is serving the entire society. Either Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya, they all need the support from the Shudra. And it is like a hierarchy. In society, if you see, Shudras are more in number. Less than them is the Vaishyas, less than them is Kshatriya, and less is the Brahmanas. Now, How is it present in entire world? Yes, it is there. Every country has some visionaries who give the guidance to the country for living, how the country should run. They may not be called as Brahmanas, or they may not have the Brahmanic qualities, the other qualities. Shama, Dhamma, Tapa, Shaucham, Shanti, Marjavam, Evacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Sabhavajam. These qualities may not be present in them as a Brahmana, but the root cause, the main activity, what they are supposed to do, that they are doing as a Brahmana. But that thinking power is not for the spiritual upliftment. It may be material upliftment, or how to protect oneself, how to bring the country into a more advanced, just like we say in the present, advanced countries, or economically advanced or advancing countries. So how to bring that may be their motto. And Kshatriyas, military power is there every nation, and at the present moment it is increasing. Every country wants to have atomic bomb and guided missiles. So many things are there. So it is there everywhere. And Vaishyas, yes, business is going on everywhere. We see every year, we see who is the richest person in the world, who is the richest person in the country. There is competition going on. And Shudras, they are there everywhere. Whoever workers, they all are there. So all the 8 things, that is ashrama and varna, they are present everywhere. Now, when it is brought to the right path, then it can make a person to advance in spiritual life. Or if you are not following it properly also, it will have some side benefit, so that there is some peace in the society. If you remove it, then what happens? See the example of our neighbor countries. Just see the country recently, the one country which lost its military power. People started looting each other. They will encroach upon others' properties. They will kill each other. They stab each other. Anything can happen. People of the other countries wanted to go out of that country, and they were hanging on the wings of the airplane. So such things can happen if there is no Varnashrama. So if there is no military, there is no Brahmanas, there is no Vaishyas, there is no Shudras. So Krishna has made this system, but unfortunately we are not able to hold it in the right manner. So neither communism nor the capitalism, it is the Varnashrama system which can take the society in the right path. Pooja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadhya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Perfect Krishna consciousness. So we should not take anything neglectfully. Neither we should care less to take care of Krishna's property, Krishna's living being, Krishna's house, Krishna's temple, Krishna's business. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I think you can read this next one also. Continue, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Perfect Krishna consciousness. Krishna's everything. Krishna's Isa Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. If we think like that, then that is perfect Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.22, Vrindavana, August 3, 1974. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So everything belongs to Krishna. It doesn't mean that it doesn't belong to you, because you also belong to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's. It makes to feel as that, oh, everything belongs to him. So I have nothing to do. I will neglect everything. I will give up everything. But that is not the meaning here. It may be belonging to Krishna. Yes, of course. It doesn't mean that Krishna is keeping you away, because you are the son of Krishna. You have to utilize the property what is given by Krishna in the right manner. He is not asking you to give up everything. It is like a person, the owner of the house comes and throws you out of the house, saying that this house belongs to me and you are not supposed to be here. That is not what Krishna is telling you. When we say Ishavasyam idam sarvam, everything belongs to Krishna, it only makes us to aware that Krishna is the owner. But it is not negating your authority to be in this material world. Because Krishna is a loving father, he has given everything to us. We should not accept it forgetfully. We should remember him. So you should not neglect anything. Prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhihi parityago vairagyam falgu katyate. The falgu vairagya means rejecting everything, even though if it is useful in the service of the Lord, if you just reject it, then it is called falgu vairagya. But what is the yukta vairagya? Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. Yukta vairagya means anasaktasya vishayan. Without having any motive for sense gratification, if you are just using the property of Krishna in the service of Krishna, then it is the yukta vairagya. So if you want to follow the vairagya also, you should know what is real vairagya. Vairagya doesn't mean give up everything and go to forest or stop eating. You can't do that because you can't stop breathing at least. The air also belongs to Krishna. Will you stop breathing? I am a vairagi now. I will not breathe. Then it is not able to live. And you don't have the right to give up the body also. Because it is a sin for killing the body. Because even in the government also, if somebody commits suicide and if he fails in the attempt, then there will be a fire on him. He has to answer to that. So killing oneself, either in the material world or in spiritual world, both, it is considered as a crime. So this is not going to work. You should know what is real vairagya. So you should not be careless. You should be careful and understand this property belongs to Krishna and use it in the right place. Now, tena tyaktena bhunjita. Tena, that means given by him, Krishna. Tyaktena, set apart quota for everyone. He has given something and we should accept it. You should accept. He is telling you should accept. And one should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. This quota word is very familiar for us. We have so many types of quotas for different categories of people. So Krishna has given quota based on our categories. Like if you are a cow, you can eat green grass. And if you are a tiger, you can eat the flesh. So understand who you are and accordingly use the quota. But if you encroach upon others' properties, then you will be under punishment. What is our real quota? That we must understand here. Now here is a activity. Select examples from current affairs, national or international, where Ishavasya principle is lacking. So here we are trying to understand how we are encroaching upon others' properties. This is a continuation from previous. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Okay, something is given to me, but I am encroaching upon others' property and trying to take it. And in that course, I am also getting into trouble. Can anybody remember any examples like this? They can raise their hand. There is no breakout room for this. Just, yeah, Siddharth Prabhu.
If you take example of any of the oil countries, they think that oil belongs to them as of now. I mean, so they don't think that oil, can be also, others also can use that. That is one part. Second is, I think everywhere, like the wars which are going on as of now, the previous Israel war or even the present one, all these are for only what? Like I can have more and more of others' wealth, others' properties by use of some power. It can be military power, it can be nuclear war, whatever. So all these recent examples are already there, where people are fighting to encroach other country. Israel is the one, and the others are also there. China is also doing a lot of things. So he's rather doing in a different way. He's trying to capture markets in a totally aggressive and unethical manner. So all these things are there fully in vogue in modern world. I think the list is endless, but I stop here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare. Any other answers? Yeah, Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, when we were explaining, when you were explaining, Prabhuji, you were telling about the 4 varnas where different category have different work and all that. But nowadays it is not like that, Prabhuji. In recent, that is this generation, it is not like that. Brahmana is also running behind money. Kshatriya is also running behind. Everybody is running behind money. For money, they will do anything, Prabhuji. They are not seeing that, oh no, this work is not meant for me and all that. Everybody go behind. If it is an IT firm, everyone want to go to IT firm because they can earn 2 lakhs per month and all that. So they are not living according to this category at all. They don't remember which caste they belong to. Nothing. They are not following anything, Prabhuji. They just go behind like goats. They go behind. One person go and become rich. Everybody go behind them. Like that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any other answers? Okay. So, yeah, Lata Mataji.
I think this Ishavasya principle is missing because the humanity in every country is because we are so greedy and so selfish that we wanted to amass more and more wealth for all purposes. I feel that the reason for not having this principle is because of greed. The greed is the root cause. They are so greedy and they are not satisfied. There's the wants is they are not, the wants are unlimited to them because they don't think that what does a man require. They don't have this philosophy in their mind. That is the reason there is so much of violence. There's so much of attacking others. The humanity is lost. As the Kali is getting more and more, it is the main reason is greed. The main reason is their ego. The main reason is all kama, krodha, moha, lopa, madamatsariyam, and that is the main reason which has been lost completely. The human race has lost. So the leaders are accordingly. The corruption is because of that. Everything, the main cause, I feel, is because of greed. And thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Akhila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
We tell education system, even in education system like MBAs, they ask like cheat, confuse, or like if nothing is possible, then confuse, like convince, like that is the basic principle. We tell education. Education means the people get progress. This is progress in negative way. And it's like they tell the ethics, but very few members follow. Suppose if they follow, practically they can't make money. So everyone, either directly or indirectly, they go for confused, cheating, all this. That's they're supposed to use this principle, but they fail to use.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, modern education is like they teach, it is like example can be given. some four people, they rob the bank and they take away all the properties that was possible to take. And then now they are telling that we should distribute this, all the property equally, so that nobody is cheated. Nobody should be given less share. It should be given to the equally. We should share the whatever we have stolen. So first of all, the property is stolen. There they don't need the morality, but they are expecting morality at the place of sharing, where you are going to get the money. So it is like, when it is for me, it should be moral, and when it is for others, it should be, or it may be immoral. It doesn't matter. So that becomes the morality of modern society. Everything property, it belongs to Krishna. That we don't know, that we don't care. But when I am getting it, it should be equally distributed. So that is my expectation. That's what being taught in the schools and colleges, how to exploit the nature, material nature. Okay, encroaching upon others' property will break the Ishavasya principle. Those who would like to read can raise their hand. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
In the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service. Vedic literature can regulate the working energy of a human being in such a way that he can gradually realize the authority of the Supreme Being. Sri Ishopanishad, page 25. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Now we may come to the conclusion that the Varnashrama is all in all, but that is not true, because we have studied this in Bhagavad Gita also. Varnashrama system is like the stepping stone. Stepping stone means, see, when there is a lot of rain, we can't walk on the land properly. Then we try to find some raised level, some stone or something, and we step on that and go, so that we don't have to put our leg inside water. So it's like that the Varnashrama will act. It becomes a stepping stone towards spiritual life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, don't stay, or you are not the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Naham Vipro Nacha Narapatir Napi Vaishyo Na Shudro. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudasa. I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, not a Vaishya or Shudra. I am taking this only for advancing in spiritual life. And when a person comes to the Paramahamsa level, when one is a pure devotee of the Lord, for him, these things doesn't matter. You cannot identify him as Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra. So that's what Prabhupada is telling. In the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service. You cannot come to the level of Paramahamsa at a time. Then there is a Varnashrama system, that is Vedic life, Vedic literature. It can regulate our working energy so that gradually we can come to the devotional service or devotional platform. But the present age of Kali, it is so short. Prayana alpa ayusha sabhya kalavasmin sugejana manda sumanda matayo mandavagya hupadrataha. You cannot wait for this gradual advancement. That's why we have the holy name of the Lord. Just chant the holy name and go back to Godhead. By chanting the holy name every day consistently, we can advance in our spiritual life. Either you are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, it doesn't matter. Everyone can take to this and they can advance. Because this Kali Yuga, the span of life is very small and people are very less intelligent and they don't have proper guidance also. So you just take to this and come back to Godhead. Don't waste your time. Puja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
There is no harm in becoming a family man or an altruist, a socialist, a communist, a nationalist, or a humanitarian, provided that one executes his activities in relation with Isa Vasya, the God-centered conception. Mantra 2 per. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So if you are following the Ishavasya principle, then you must be knowing to whom it belongs, and then you have to use it in his service. It is like a family man, he uses his wealth for serving Krishna, and an altruist or a socialist, he will, whatever good he does for the society, he will not take the credit. He will not say that I have done it. It is all property of the Lord, and I am only as a postman, I am giving this to you. So I am not the doer. And a communist, he will accept all the wealth of the society, and then he will distribute to the people, public, equally. And he will not take anything on his own. That is the communism. So in communism, the major problem is the person who is the leader, he has all the power and he tried to misuse that power. If you see the communist country, people are so poor that they don't have enough to eat. But the people who are in the leader, as the called as the leaders, they have luxurious life. They have too much. So that kind of communism is not recommended. But if the communist one who is following, if he knows that I am only the servant, just like earlier, the kings used to be the representative of the Lord. The Lord is the king. I am only the servant. And I am only collecting the taxes for serving the public. So that is the right way. And a nationalist or a humanitarian, understand to whom it belongs and use it in his service. That is the right way of understanding. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Not more than what we require. Whatever wealth is there within this universe, all belong to God. And we are, as son of God, we have got right to take advantage of this wealth, but not more than what I require. That's all. This is the spiritual communism. If you take more, then you become punishable. This is the law of nature. Bhagavad Gita 1.15, London, July 15, 1973. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is already set by the Lord. If you see the animals, whatever you give, if you give some grains to the bird, it will eat little bit and then it will go away. It will not take away all the things, whatever present there. But if you give some grain to the human being, he will bring the basket and he will put in that everything and he will take for next day also. So that is the difference. And even our body also, if you take too much, then it will give diseases. So wherever you have done mistake, there you will be punished. So our body also has the capacity, how much we can digest. You cannot eat more. So similarly here also, whatever wealth is needed, that you can earn and you can spend it. But if you are taking others' property with greed, then it will only give you trouble. It will not make you happy. That is Ishavasya principle. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Mantras 2 and 3. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the combination of mantra 2 and 3. So mantra 2 says that Kuruvanneveha karmani jiji visheshtatam sama evam tvainanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. Chatam sama means hundreds of years. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative for this way. for man. If you want to live in this material world for hundreds of years, as every person aspires, I don't want to die, because scientists also trying. They are trying to find some medicine which will not make the people old, and it will stop the death. So you can live here eternally. But Ishavasya principle is telling, if you follow Ishavasya principle, you can live here hundreds of years, no problem. So what does it mean living in hundreds of years? Means we don't kill ourselves. What is killing? Performing sinful activity is like killing oneself, because we are bringing more punishment. But if you are following Ishavasya principle and you are doing the right activity, then it will not bind. It's like a person when he comes to the maturity, when the child is very small, below the age of 12, whatever mistakes he has done, there is no punishment. And once he grows, he becomes 13 or 14, then whatever activities he does, that is his responsibility. He will be punished for that. The karma will be very less when the child is small, but when he grows, then he has to take the result. So if every day that we live, we do so much of sinful activities. And for that sinful activities, we have to take more and more lifetime some punishment. And we get into this cycle of birth and death. But here, if you are following the Ishavasya principle and living accordingly, then even if you live hundreds of years, you will not get entangled. So that is the only way. So here it is confirmed, there is no alternative to this way for man. Na karma lipyate nare. Now, if you want to get down from the 10th floor of the building to the ground floor, so there is only one way, and that is you climb down the stairs. There is no other way, means you cannot go to the terrace and jump. So that is also one of the way to come down, but that is not recommended. Similarly, this material world, you can live anyway. You can make something, somehow you can live, make some whatever path you can follow, make money and make your life. But that is like jumping from the building. You are bringing trouble to yourself. But the only way, what it is told here, that is climbing down the steps, or it is just an example. You can live in this world only through the Ishavasya principle. If you are not living with this Ishavasya principle, then better don't live, because you are harming yourself. That is told in the next shloka, third shloka. Asuryana mate loka andhe natamasavrita tamste pretya bhigachanti eke chatmahano jana. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. So this kind of people who don't follow the Ishavasya principle, they are called as the Atmaha, the killer of the soul. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we learned that the soul cannot be killed. Krishna himself has told, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shosheti marutaha. There is no destruction. But why Krishna, or this mantra, Ishopanishad is telling Atmaha, killer of the soul? So we should understand the mood in which it is spoken. Here, Krishna also says the Atmaha, or killer of the soul. It's like Kama yesha, Krodha yesha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha. Okay, one more. The three gates of hell. What is that shloka? Kama, Krodha, Stata, Lobha. Tasmad, somewhere it comes as the killer of the soul. That means killer of the soul doesn't mean that destruction of the soul. It is the degradation of the soul. The soul, if it is getting in trouble with the life, if it has to undergo so much of trouble, if after living in this material world, then it is considered as a Atmaha, that is killer of the soul. Now in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a shloka, which explains that. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Siddharth Prabhu, you want to say something?
That is that lust, anger, and greed. That shloka.
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah. What is the exact beginning of the shloka?
Okay, I have to check. Okay, so we proceed, Prabhuji.
Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam. Yeah. Dwaram nashanam atmanaha. Trividam narakasyedam. Dwaram nashanam atmanaha. Kama krodhas tata lobha tasmadeta triyam tejat. Yes. So here nashanam atmaha it is used. So Krishna also uses the word atma nasha. So why the person destroys or degrades his life? It is through the kama, krodha, tata, lobha. Kama, krodha, and lobha. These three things can destroy the soul. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. So this human form of life is compared to a perfectly constructed boat. And who is the captain? That is our spiritual master. And the favorable wind, that instructions given by the Lord and the devotees. Now, what is our responsibility by having this boat? Human being who does not utilize human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. That is Srimad Bhagavatam, Shloka, this Canto 11, Chapter 20, text number 17. You can have this shloka. Here it is. Hridehamadyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam gurukarnadharam mayanukulena nabhasvateritam puman bhavabdim na taretsa atmaha. So here also the word atmaha is used, the killer of his soul. And the chapter name itself is the same thing. So the human body which can award all benefit in life. So this is not possible by animalistic life. Is automatically obtained by the laws of nature. So we cannot claim that I have done a lot of hard work for getting this human form of life. So Bhagavatam says, no, you have not done any hard work. It is coming. You just have gone through the experience of 84 lakh species of life. Birth is given to you, death is given to you. You have just accepted it and you have suffered it. That's all. There is no hard work endeavor from your side. So automatically obtained by the laws of nature. Although it is very rare to get, very rare achievement. Everyone will not get it. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as the favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. That is the real meaning here. What does it mean by killing of the soul? So one should not kill the soul. One should use the human form of life to come out of this birth, death, old age, and disease. Atmaha. Yeah. Siddharth Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I'm just Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Atmaha. If with all these facilities, a human being does not fully utilize his life for self-realization, he must be considered Atmaha, a killer of the soul. Sri Isopanishad warns in clear terms that the killer of the soul is destined to enter into the darkest region of ignorance, to suffer perpetually. Mantra 3 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So in this chapter, we have learned about the Prakriti, two types of Prakriti. And also in purport, Prabhupada explains about karma. What is karma, akarma, and vikarma? This is in the text number 2. So karma means that action which is prescribed in the Vedic literature, the scriptures. And akarma means that activity which will takes us near Krishna. That is devotional service. And vikarma means those activities which will make us atmaha, or which will take us to the hell, or the where there is punishment. So karma, akarma, and vikarma is explained by Prabhupada in the purport. And killer of the soul. So what are the different types of souls? Atmaha means waste their lives in addiction to worldly pursuits, desire and act for excessive sense enjoyment, are bound in the cycle of birth and death, have no knowledge of soul or God, do not establish a relationship with Paramatma. All these are different types of killers of soul. And those who are following this, they are called as asuras or demons. And those who are following, they are the godly people. They are called as sura, cognizant of the responsibilities of human life, which is aiming at the lotus feet of the Lord. And one who is neglectful, they are called as asuras. So in this way, Prabhupada has explained how we can perform Ishavasya principle and get liberated. So these are the things what we learned. Understanding objectives, explain the terms. What is Ishavasya, Para and Apara Prakriti, Bhagavata communism, what is Atmaha, and flow from text 1 to 3. And describe the ways, the principle of Tena Tektena Bhunjita, which can be applied. And Shastra Chakshusha, identified from the current affairs, all the circumstances. And some examples from Prabhupada's life showing his application of Ishavasya principle. Okay, this one we can give the example like when Prabhupada went to the Western world, he also saw so many people doing sense gratification, but such things he has seen in relation to Krishna. Now, there are many big trucks in the Western world, and Prabhupada made them into book distribution vans, or he has used them for service to Krishna. And he saw big buildings which were being used for sense gratification, but Prabhupada converted them into temples so that the preaching activity can go on. So like that, whatever Prabhupada has made or he has seen, everything he has used in the service of Krishna. The typewriters, the printing press, all these things he has used in the service of Krishna. So that is Ishavasya principle. Cited appropriate analogies from mantras 1 to 3 purports, and described how our society could be improved through application of the Ishavasya principle. So Sri Ishopanishad advises us to exert our energy in the spirit of Ishavasya. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many years. So there is no problem if you want to live for 100 years, but no, you should know what is Ishavasya principle. There is no danger. There is no problem. Krishna will take care of us. So for today, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask the questions. Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyway, I think I have not raised my hand, but anyway, I've given an opportunity. I'm asking.
Okay.
So I was just thinking this Tena Tektena Bhunjita, one meaning, of course, 100%, which has been taught today is about the quota. Whatever is given to us as a quota, we should be satisfied with that. Like the example of cow, grass, or maybe for us, whatever, roti kapda, minimum makan, whatever is required, not more than that. I mean, maybe roti kapda makan is the right example of this. But on other side, I was thinking Tena Tektena Bhunjita, does it also mean something which has been tyakta by him? I mean, he has left for us. For example, bhoga. Now he has taken it. Now he has left it for us. So we can take that. Does it also, mean that? I mean, I was just thinking. Hare Krishna.
It is left by him. Instead of saying like that, you can say kept for us.
Kept for us.
Kept for us. Left means he can live anywhere, but he has left it in front of us. That means instead of saying left, it is better way to say it is kept for us.
Right. But tyakta means to leaves. That's what I mean. Anyway, I'm not going by
Yeah.
the
It should
word.
not, yeah, but it should not mean that it's rejected, because it can also, in the way same flow, if you go further, it can say that it is rejected by the Lord. That should not be.
Yes.
So that's why I told it should be kept by the Lord, not by the left by the Lord.
Yes. Understood.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have two questions.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, Isha word has many synonyms. So then there is a title dispute regarding Isha, because as Siddharth Prabhuji said, oil producing countries. So they also believe in Isha Vasya, but the title is different. So how do you resolve that in society as per the question? Because Isha synonym might be different than somebody else's. So how in the society will we say that this Isha concept is agreeable to all?
No, what you are telling is, okay, you are making it more specific. Whose Isha? Is it my Isha or it is your Isha? That is not the point here. It is the Lord. It is the Lord who is making it. What we are talking about. It is not like your God or my God. That is not the point. So I think no, your question. Are you trying to ask that whether we should accept that they are also spiritual, so we should not take this matter into consideration like that, or?
No, I think we only need a consciousness that because every word has a synonym. So Isha for me can be some different name, and for somebody else it can be different name. But if there is a consciousness that this everything is belonging to something superior, then it is okay. I accept your version of Isha and you accept my version of Isha. So is that okay?
Yeah, of course. See, you should accept what is necessary for you, but don't encroach upon others' properties. That is the point here. It is not talking about any particular caste or a community. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, but that's okay. But second question is, I actually want to ask was that Prabhuji, when I say I'm taking somebody else's quota, I also agree that someone is entitled to suffering. When someone is entitled to suffering, do I become an instrumentality that I'm doing some karma by which somebody will suffer? Like if somebody is not going on a hunger and I'm eating more, obviously I'm eating more. We all, in certain classes of people, maybe I'm eating more. So is it that I'm also contributing to somebody having less because he has to suffer?
So you want to be the instrument in his suffering?
No, I don't want to be. But by what you told that we should only accept our quota, I'm negating that and said Bhagavad Gita says suffering, whatever suffering a person has to do, he has to do. So somebody has to be an instrumentality also to make him suffer. So how do I balance it that no, I should concentrate on my karma and not be concentrating on somebody's suffering?
Yeah, it is like you are trying to pacify yourself that it was his karma that he's getting. I am not the cause, so I am safe. But here we should understand that we have no right to become the cause of somebody's karma. If it has to come, then it will come by the karma itself. We can't go and tell that somebody, you have the karma of getting slapped today, so I am going to slap you. So that is not the way.
Macro level.
Just crude example I give. So if somebody is suffering because of us, and I'm telling that it is actually you had this karma of suffering, so please don't take me as the cause. So it is your own karma, you are suffering. So don't blame me. That is not the right way. So anybody is suffering, even though, see, also, if somebody is suffering because of their bad karma, you are not supposed to go and tell them that on the face, you are suffering your karma. Then you will get the karma of that saying. You can only help them. Gahana karmano gatihi. You cannot understand the intricacy of the karma. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopi atra mohitaha. Don't try to play with the karma. So you do your karma and don't try to remove others' karma. You can pray for him, or we can give them devotional service, we can help them, but don't become the cause of their karma.
Third and final question, Prabhuji. I have nothing against what you've taught, but I have certain doubt. Like when God was Isha was the prime, like communism is, socialism is. Prabhuji, in those times, even women were gifted to temples as the Devdasis. And it is not right that in the name of God you do so many things. And as you said, this kind of thing, very few people understand that the law of karma, don't get involved in it. It is beyond our comprehension to understand whose karma is bad. We should just concentrate on ourselves. So giving too much power to a religious sector is also not really done.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Every acharya speaks according to desha, kala, and patra. When the society, the quality of the society, you have to check and give the instruction. You cannot give all the instructions for all the society. In the earlier age, people were allowed to marry many women so that they had the responsibility to take care of them. But gradually, when it becomes exploitation, it was avoided, and by the government itself, it has been stopped. The person will be punished now. So this is the Desha Kala Patra. Now what we are talking is, as the Kali Yuga advances, as the modern culture comes, people try to exploit the things, and this exploitation is visible. This is like getting the cataract in the eye. You cannot pluck the eye when there is cataract. You can only remove the cataract. So if you say that there is some exploitation, even from the spiritual side also, it is the cataract which has to be corrected, and you should be careful. Don't follow or don't get into trap. But it doesn't mean that's totally close this. That is not the solution. There is a contribution from the spiritual side, and this knowledge which is given in the Upanishads, it has meaning, and if we can apply it, when you apply, you will understand by the result. But whatever you told, of course, it is correct, because there are some exploitations. Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Akhila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Guruji, like last week I had raised my hand due to network problem. Like, Guruji, like I like to add little things with Anu Mataji in last week. Like I promise I never argue. Like just I like to add little things. She told, like, she asked that women are not allowed to read Vedas. It was not like that. During that time, women were reading the Vedas. They were going the classes. Many examples we have. Gargi Vachaknavi. Even in Brihadaranya Upanishad, we can find conversation between Gargi Vachaknavi and Yajnavalkya. That we see. And even Devi Lopamudra. Devi Lopamudra means nothing but of river Kaveri. So her original name, Devi Lopamudra. Many we can see. But thing is that they were not forcing. They were not forcing everyone to read, go and read Veda. It was not compulsory, but now it is compulsory. During that time, it was not compulsory. The importance was given during even that time. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
So it was not degraded during that time.
Yeah.
And like spiritual exploitation is there everywhere. So we have to use our wisdom. That's why God has given wisdom. So each and every field it is there. So it depends on which acharya we choose, where we choose, depends on us. That's what I look at.
Thank
And
you.
one more, Guruji, like, what is the difference between Vaishnava calendar and regular calendar? Whether it is based on Suryamana and Chandramana, sun's position and moon position, or what it is?
There are certain festivals which will be calculated, and we have the names of the months by Keshavadi, Keshava, Narayana, Govinda, Madhava, those
Okay.
12 names, and some of the terms are different.
Mhm.
And the Ekadashi comes for Vaishnavas, and Smartas are something, sometimes it differs. Sometimes it will be Sarva Ekadashi, sometimes Vaishnava Ekadashi separate. Some changes will be there. It's a combination of Chandramana and Sauramana, both are there. I don't exactly this Jyotishya, but there is some difference, some significance is there in Vaishnava.
There is difference you'll find, that's why like
I'm not
Krishna Janmashtami, it was some other day, here in some other day.
Yeah, there will be some difference. One day difference will be there sometimes.
Who made this? Madhvacharya made this? Whether Guruji Madhvacharya?
I don't know, Mataji. I don't think Madhvacharya has made. It is there. It was even before also.
This normal calendar, normal Panchanga, no, it is fixed for all these ones, Shaiva, the even Shakti, Parampara, all Parampara. Vaishnava only is different. That's what.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when you were taking class, you said qualities of Brahmana. 12 you told us, Prabhuji, but I got only 9. Shama, Dama, Tapa, Saucham, Shantir, Arjavam, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Asikyam, you said, Prabhuji. So I got only 9. Only 9 we have, Prabhuji?
No, Mataji. It's a, 9 only, no? It is there in this one. Bhagavad Gita. Shama, Dama, Tapa, Shaucham. Just a minute. I'll tell you the shloka number.
Prabhuji, and you also said
18.42.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Bhagavad
Prabhuji,
Gita.
you also said Padana, Patana, Dhyana, Pratikarna, Yachana, Yachana. What is that, Prabhuji? 6?
Tatkarma Nipano Vipro. There are 6 activities for the Vipra. Tatkarma Nipano Vipro, Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. That is another shloka.
Okay, okay.
What are they? They are in the another shloka. That is Patan, Dana Pratikarana, Yajana, Yajan.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. This is also from Bhagavad Gita only, Prabhuji?
No, Mataji. This is somewhere we have seen in purport, I think.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu.
My last question
Yes,
is in one of the PPT, we saw 1.15 Gita, Bhagavad Gita 1.15,
okay.
but it was on the explanation of Ishavashyam. 1.15 is about the various conch sales. So I don't know, not able to connect.
Bhagavad Gita 1.15, that is a lecture.
Achha, lecture is different.
In the lecture of 1.15, when he was giving the lecture for that particular shloka, Prabhupada, this one you're telling, no?
Right. So we have to go to the lecture part, no? Right, Prabhu. I got it.
That lecture is available in maybe in Veda base, you may get.
Veda base.
Yeah, there you will get.
Clear.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll end for today. In the next class coming, we'll elaborate on this Ishavasya principle and Vidya and Upasana things, and finally the prayer to the Supreme Lord. I thank all the devotees for coming to the session and actively participating in the discussion. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.